having a great morning. I know that I'm not going to sound really up today. I'm not going to fake it. I'm going to tell you exactly how I feel. And I know it's not about me, but I am going to tell you what I'm feeling. You know, I've been a race fan, most of my life. And, there's only been a few that have passed, in the prime of their career or while they were still racing. Most of them, of course, passed after a pretty long life. And, they're not in the news all the time. Not once did I ever think that this would happen to Kyle Busch. I mean, I just knew in my mind that, he would go on and retire and be with Brexton and even Lennox if she decided she wanted to race, or Lenny, as they called her. I can't fathom what his wife and kids and the rest of his family and the entire, that inner core, that garage of NASCAR is going through, because this is reminiscent of when Earnhardt passed. Even though Earnhardt was driving, it's reminiscent of Biffle, because Biffle was still in the news, even though he wasn't still racing, and it was an accident. But when it comes from an illness, a sudden illness, it's hard to fathom what could be the cause. Could it really be a sinus infection? And I've done some reading overnight, and I learned a lot about sinus infections, is that it can be more, and I can only assume that was the situation here. Well, I thought there would be a parking place out here, but it looks like, well, there is, but I don't want to park this far out. I'm lazy. It's just hard to believe. And then after that, I learned of Mark, Old Man Nation, Grifters Anonymous, Mark in Arizona. I learned about Eva. And I mean, I knew that I thought it had been a week since I talked to her. I thought that I had messaged her that I was going away for the weekend. But I didn't. And then when I realized, when I went back to TikTok to look, we had not spoken since May the 8th. And then she had told me what was going on. And that's not my story to tell. So that is Mark's story to tell, if he wants to tell it. So I'm not going to say anything as far as what happened. But I knew some things were going on, and I knew she'd had a big scare. But, you just don't think about it happening. And I knew that one day, last week, it was strange, that there was a message on Instagram messaging, and it was me in a group. But it didn't say anything about what happened. It was just said, "How did you know my grandma?" And I just told them that, we just got to talking, but nothing else was said. And I just wished I'd known sooner. And I know that I'm the last person that should be concerned about something like that, because I just want to tell Mark that I'm so sorry. I mean, I don't want to start this mess, but I just want to tell Mark, if he's watching this, I am so sorry. I know that doesn't help, but I just want you to know I'm sorry. And I just wish that I would have said something else to her. I always wished her to, told her to get better and everything, but, there's just some things you wished you would have said more. I mean, I never met her in person, but I mean, we talked once on the phone, and you know, we texted each other, and I mean, you could tell how much she loved her children and grandchildren and Mark. I mean, and her dog. That thing cut off. But she loved them with all her heart and would do anything for the world for them. I mean, I knew that. And I mean, she was so nice to me. I mean, she had no reason to be nice to me, you know, a couple of times, but she always made me feel better. I mean, she was just a good person. So, I just wanted to get those things out. And as I said, this video is not about me. It's just me talking. And I hope that, you know, again, I want to thank everyone who has served in our armed forces. I appreciate your service, your families. And, you know, as I said before, I have a cousin serving now. Dave's dad served. You know, he was shot. And, of course, he has a lot of medical issues now. Of course, he's 93, 94 years old. But he still has his mind, you know. But I want to remember everyone that served. And, you know, I just hope y'all will pray for Mark and his family. And pray for Samantha and Brexton and Lenny and Kurt. You know, he lost his baby brother. And I know that he has an uncle that helped take care of the racing side for Brexton. Because, I mean, they had big plans for Brexton. And who knows what will happen now. And, I mean, that shouldn't even be a concern right now. But I know that was a part of, you know, Kyle loved helping Brexton. You know, he would have helped him probably reach any goal. So anyway, I'm going to shut up and I'm going to go to work. Again, thank you so much for everything and for watching. And I will be back hopefully sometime over the weekend maybe or next week. So talk to y'all later. Love you. Bye. And I do mean that. I do appreciate each and every one of you for supporting this channel. Thank you and have a great weekend.